The 21st century has witnessed the rise of a new economic powerhouse on the global stage: BRICS. This acronym stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These 5 nations represent a significant portion of the world's population, land mass, and economic output. Together, they are challenging the traditional dominance of Western powers and advocating for a more multipolar world order. BRICS nations are characterized by their rapid economic growth, vast natural resources, and increasing global influence. They have become major players in international trade, investment, and diplomacy. Their emergence has significant implications for the global balance of power and the future of the international system. The BRICS story is one of ambition, cooperation, and a shared desire for a more equitable and just world. It is a story that is still being written, but one that holds immense promise for the future. The concept of BRIC, which later evolved into BRICS, was first introduced by Jim O'Neill, a renowned economist at Goldman Sachs, in 2001. This groundbreaking idea was not just a fleeting thought but a well-researched and meticulously crafted vision for the future of global economics. In his seminal paper, Building Better Global Economic BRICS, O'Neill argued that the combined economic potential of Brazil, Russia, India, and China was too significant to ignore. He meticulously analyzed various economic indicators and trends, presenting a compelling case for why these nations would rise to prominence. O'Neill predicted that these 4 countries would become major drivers of global economic growth in the 21st century. His foresight was based on a deep understanding of global economic dynamics and the unique strengths of each of these nations. He based his analysis on factors such as their large populations, abundant natural resources, and rapid industrialization. These elements, he argued, would provide a solid foundation for sustained economic growth and development. He argued that their growing economies would reshape the global economic landscape and challenge the dominance of the G7 nations. This was a bold assertion at the time, but one that would soon prove to be remarkably prescient. O'Neill's prediction proved to be remarkably accurate. Over the next decade, the BRIC economies experienced unprecedented growth, surpassing all expectations. Their rapid development was fueled by a combination of strategic investments, policy reforms, and a favorable global economic environment. Their combined GDP soared, and they became major players in global trade and investment. The influence of these nations extended beyond economics, as they began to play a more significant role in international politics and global governance. The world took notice, and the concept of BRIC gained widespread recognition. It wasn't long before South Africa joined the group, leading to the formation of BRICS. This expanded coalition further solidified the importance of these emerging economies on the world stage. The BRICS nations began to hold annual summits, fostering greater cooperation and collaboration on various global issues. These meetings provided a platform for discussing economic policies, trade agreements, and strategies for sustainable development. The impact of O'Neill's vision continues to be felt today. The BRICS nations have not only grown economically, but have also become influential voices in shaping the future of global governance. Their rise has prompted a re-evaluation of traditional power structures and has highlighted the importance of inclusive and equitable growth. As we look to the future, the legacy of Jim O'Neill's BRIC concept serves as a reminder of the dynamic and ever-changing nature of the global economy. It underscores the potential for emerging markets to drive innovation, growth, and progress on a global scale. What began as an economic prediction soon transformed into a geopolitical reality. The term BRIC, coined by economist Jim O'Neill in 2001, initially referred to the potential economic powerhouses of Brazil, Russia, India, and China. However, it quickly evolved beyond mere economic forecasts. In 2006, the foreign ministers of Brazil, Russia, India, and China met for the first time on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York City. This historic gathering was more than just a meeting. It was the birth of a new coalition on the global stage. This meeting marked the formalization of BRIC as a grouping of emerging economies with shared interests and goals. The ministers recognized the potential of their collective influence and sought to harness it for mutual benefit. The ministers discussed a range of issues including global governance reform, climate change, and energy security. These topics were not chosen at random. They reflected the pressing concerns of their nations and the broader developing world. They emphasized the need for greater cooperation among developing countries to address common challenges and promote their interests in the international arena. This spirit of solidarity was a cornerstone of the BRIC philosophy. The meeting was a significant milestone in the evolution of BRIC. It was a clear signal to the world that these nations were ready to step up and take on a more proactive role in global affairs. It demonstrated that these countries were not content with being passive bystanders in global affairs. They were determined to play a more active role in shaping the international order and advocating for a more just and equitable world. The first BRIC foreign ministers meeting laid the groundwork for future collaboration. It set the stage for subsequent summits and initiatives, fostering a sense of unity and purpose among the member nations. This initial gathering was just the beginning of a journey towards greater influence and cooperation on the global stage. In 2010, BRIC expanded to become BRICS with the inclusion of South Africa. This move was highly symbolic, as it recognized South Africa's position as a leading economy and a gateway to the African continent. South Africa's inclusion brought a new dimension to the group, adding its expertise in areas such as sustainable development, regional integration, and conflict resolution. It also strengthened BRICS's representation of the developing world and its commitment to South-South cooperation. The expansion of BRICS to include South Africa was a testament to the group's growing influence and its commitment to inclusivity. It also reflected the changing dynamics of the global economy, with developing countries playing an increasingly important role. Section 5. United by common goals, economic cooperation, political dialogue, and cultural exchange. At its core, BRICS is a partnership for cooperation and development. The group's primary goals are to foster economic growth, promote peace and security, and enhance cultural understanding among its member states. Economic cooperation lies at the heart of the BRICS agenda. The member countries have established various mechanisms to promote trade, investment, and financial stability. They have also worked together to address common challenges such as poverty, inequality, and climate change. Political dialogue is another key pillar of BRICS cooperation. The group provides a platform for its members to coordinate their positions on global issues and advocate for their shared interests in international forums. Section 6. A bank for a new era, the New Development Bank and its significance. One of the most significant achievements of BRICS has been the establishment of the New Development Bank, or NDB. Launched in 2015, the NDB is a multilateral development bank headquartered in Shanghai, China. The NDB's mission is to mobilize resources for infrastructure and sustainable development projects in BRICS and other emerging economies. It aims to provide an alternative to the existing Bretton Woods institutions, which are often criticized for being dominated by developed countries. The NDB represents a major step towards reforming the global financial architecture and creating a more equitable and just system for developing countries. It is a testament to the BRICS countries' commitment to South-South cooperation and their desire to play a more active role in shaping the global economy. Section 7. Challenging the status quo, BRICS and the shifting global landscape. The emergence of BRICS has significant implications for the global balance of power. The BRICS nations, comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, represent a significant portion of the world's population and economic output. Their collective influence is reshaping the geopolitical landscape in ways that were unimaginable just a few decades ago. As their economies continue to grow, these countries are challenging the traditional dominance of the West and advocating for a more multipolar world order. This shift is not just economic but also cultural and political, as BRICS nations seek to assert their own identities and values on the global stage. They are investing heavily in infrastructure, technology, and education to ensure sustainable growth and development. BRICS. Nations are increasingly assertive in their foreign policy, seeking to promote their own interests and values on the international stage. They are forming new alliances and partnerships, both within the BRICS framework and with other emerging economies. This assertiveness is evident in their collective stance on various global issues, from climate change to trade policies. They are also working to reform global governance institutions, such as the United Nations Security Council, to reflect the changing realities of the 21st century. The current structure of these institutions often reflects a post-World War II order that no longer aligns with the contemporary distribution of global power. BRICS nations argue that a more inclusive and representative system is necessary for addressing today's complex global challenges. The rise of BRICS is part of a broader trend of shifting global power dynamics. This trend is characterized by the increasing influence of emerging economies and the relative decline of traditional Western powers. The economic policies and growth strategies of BRICS countries are contributing to this shift, as they focus on innovation, diversification, and regional cooperation. The world is moving away from a unipolar system dominated by the United States towards a more multipolar system with multiple centers of power. This transition is creating new opportunities and challenges for international relations. Countries around the world are having to navigate this complex landscape, balancing their relationships with both established and emerging powers. This shift has profound implications for international relations, global economics, and the future of the international order. it is prompting a reevaluation of existing alliances and prompting new forms of cooperation. As BRICS nations continue to rise, their impact on global governance, economic policies, and cultural exchanges will likely grow, shaping the 21st century in significant ways. Section 8. A promising future. The potential of BRICS in the 21st century. The future of BRICS is bright with potential. As these countries continue to grow and develop, they are well positioned to play an even greater role in shaping the 21st century. BRICS nations have the opportunity to leverage their collective economic might to promote sustainable development, reduce poverty, and address global challenges such as climate change. They can also work together to promote peace and security, resolve conflicts, and build a more just and equitable world. The success of BRICS will depend on its ability to overcome internal differences, strengthen cooperation among its members, and engage constructively with the rest of the world. If it can do so, BRICS has the potential to be a transformative force for good in the 21st century. Section 9. Conclusion. Towards a more multipolar world. The rise of BRICS is a testament to the changing dynamics of the global landscape. It reflects the growing economic and political clout of developing countries and their desire for a more equitable and just world order. BRICS is not without its challenges. The group faces internal divisions, economic disparities among its members, and skepticism from some quarters about its long-term viability. However, the potential of BRICS is undeniable. As the world moves towards a more multipolar system, BRICS will continue to play an increasingly important role in shaping the global agenda. The group's commitment to cooperation, development, and a more equitable world order offers a ray of hope in an increasingly uncertain world.